Let's go. Up here in the top left-hand side of the map, the blue Zerg, the NA ladder hero, the man with two first name, who does know nothing yet still knows something because he's a Zerg player and he can aim move his way to victory. It is JonSnow.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And in the bottom right, his Protoss opponent. In the red, representing Psystorm, this is DisK.
Teammate showdown here, and DisK is gonna just be going for that gate gas expand by the looks of it. DisK, a very good player. I really admire DisK's PVZ. So his ability to throw lots of very small variations that just change things up. Like he'll just hide his two adepts randomly one game and shade them in right when your lings are probing his third and trying to cancel it. You know, and he'll get 6 drone kills and suddenly the game goes haywire. He'll proxy Stargate some games. Sometimes he'll go Phoenix into charge it all in. Sometimes he'll open up with just an Oracle. So I feel like JonSnow's the favorite. He's the better mechanical player. He's got more experience, more big tournament experience as well. But I think DisK has got what it takes to definitely throw JonSnow out of his element and potentially cause an upset here. So I feel like DisK has more of a chance than maybe some of the people who aren't as familiar with his playstyle out there realize.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of what I would call NA's finest representing the bracket today. It's been really, really, really entertaining. It's been lovely.
These are the more standard play, probably the most standard game we'll get so far today, I would imagine, because they're both pretty stock standard until the mid game at the very least, right? And then they sometimes do get a little bit weird. So be cool to see how they go. I always forget DisK's name. I gotta go look up his Wikipedia and his Ligulac, see how his rating's been climbing. JonSnow, on the other hand, did pretty well. Was at Montreal last year, took a map off Serral, which is
not bad.
Pretty incredible. It's one of the hardest things to do.
If not the hardest thing to do. I mean, ZVZ against Serral. Normally people will say, yeah, but it's just CVZ. Anyone can win. It's a coin flip, blah, blah, blah. Like all the terrible bullshit things that the community thinks the matchup is, even though they don't probably play it. Meanwhile,
the
there's like
fans.
Yeah. Meanwhile, there's people that are ZVZ specialists, you know, like your rogues and whatnot, that bring out some of the best ZVZs you'll ever see because Serral actually is a complete master of the matchup. You know, like that series that we cast together at BlizzCon, that rogue Serral semifinal. Oh,
I've so many people were just. I mean, I'm so happy we got to cast that together because that was such a good series and so many people, you know. I think the first time they had a real special experience with the Zerg vs Zerg series was that one. Seeing just intense skill, non-stop mechanical showdown. You see DisK there was being cheeky, delayed the creep tumor. And JonSnow decided, okay, screw it. You're going to be annoying. I'm just going to inject again, wait for this third queen, and then I'll put the tumor down in a moment. I don't want to get that sniped by the adept. So JonSnow's going to go for that now. And it was Phoenix first. Phoenix finds the Overlord. It's going to shut that down. And how many lings have we got on the map? Just 8 lings, so enough to do a very light bit of pressure and attempt to deny the third base. Second gateway is on the way. No third adept just yet. DisK is just scouting around. I like this. Adept takes a kill. Shades to safety. Takes no damage except her shields. Exact shield damage and gets out of there. Free Zergling, always nice. Robo into Twilight. It is going to be the Archon drop follow-up. DisK playing stock standard for now. And we're just going to have to keep an eye on the gateway count. Is it 6 gateways? That means pretty good pressure. 8 gateways is like, holy crap, that's a lot of pressure. And if it's just 4 gateways in total, then it means, oh, okay, it's just going to be full macro, fast storm. So that's what JonSnow would love to identify as well if he gets a chance to scout that.
yes, indeed. Apparently, I had muted myself for my own stream, so I'm glad your stream heard me. But I have been muted for the last 4.5 minutes.
I frantically am checking my own stream right now. I'm like, oh god, that's the sort of mistake with stream delay that is so easy to make.
And then it's exacerbated by the fact that there is a 3-minute delay, which is an insane delay, by the way. Like normally it's 90 seconds for a lot of tournaments, but 3 minutes. Oh, I mean, there is absolutely no stream cheating when there's a 3-minute delay like this, which is fair enough. Keeps the tournament integrity high. That makes interaction and fixing things that are wrong with the stream, you know, a little bit tougher. Sorry, chat. Sorry, guys.
She's going to take him all down. JonSnow getting ahead of himself. This lady leads all these Zerglings into a trap. Takes out 6 Zerglings. Oracle's there with a bit of energy. Another Adept comes down as well. One Adept does go down, and JonSnow being very annoying. Dogged harassment here from JonSnow, but good defense. DisK stabilizes. The Oracle holds on. That Warp Prism is actually really late, though. So DisK here has been distracted by all this interaction early on. And, you know, I feel like JonSnow is just roaring ahead on the drone count. 56 workers. And is actually... He's got the Roach Warren, but he doesn't want to use it. He's got a safety Roach Warren, but he said, you know what? I don't think I need roaches. Let's go straight to Hydras. And as I say that, he queues up 5 roaches in roach speed. Caustic Curse.
Yeah, looking good.
It's a bit odd to go for such a fast Hydra Den, unless he wants to play Roach Hydra Lurker, which I guess he does. I was thinking it was Hydra Bane for a second there, but maybe Roach Hydra Lurker.
I feel like you don't see Lurkers anymore in ZVP. Like, I guess Protosses have been going for that double forge, you know, follow up, and they kind of poop on Lurkers. Nice little bit of drone damage here from DisK.
Yeah, DisK being a bit of a dick.
Oopsie daisies, ran out of juice.
Good Oracle harassment, but yeah, at first, losing it a bit of a shame, because you'd love those revelations later on. There is a forge. I mean, we're going up to 6 gateways is DisK, but I don't think he's going to commit to a Zealot Warp in here. He might. How many? We've got only 5 roaches out right now. Man, Zealots would be amazing, actually. Ooh, these Archons getting a few drone kills. And the Queen. Will they get the Queen? No, he's clicked on the lair. Misclick. Oh, DisK just shot the lair twice. That's 4 Archon shots that should have killed that Queen. Oh, that's a bit of a shame for DisK, but did get a few drones, pulls out. This is still good damage. There's 2 sentries, which can use hallucination for follow-up scouting, but I really want to highlight how important losing that Oracle is. The follow-up scouting, in about 30 seconds to a minute from now, is where you want to be non-stop revelating the Zerg army. Without that info, it's very hard to tell what's coming your way, and you know what? I think it's going to be a big Roach Hydra drop, because right now it's only 55 drones for JonSnow, and he really just does not have a lot of economy, but he's massing Roach Hydra. I don't even know exactly what he's up to. These Archons doing some good damage to those Queens. Prism is going to float out of there. The Roach Hydra making its way across the map. Yeah, it's going to be a Roach Ravager Zergling timing. This is relatively all in from JonSnow. He's going to intercept the 2 Adepts, but that gives him the heads up, and that's all he needs. I mean, JonSnow's economy is trash right now. He's really not in a great position economically.
Yeah, he's been on the back foot since these Archon drops have been so effective for DisK. Speaking of which, they're coming back to the main base this time. Looks like a Queen actually will go down.
Yeah, good micro there by DisK, but I feel like at this point, DisK, he's got, what, 3 Storms ready at home in a few seconds. 3 base fully saturated. Double Robo is now up, going up from 6 to 8 gateways. This should... Really? Oh my gosh, nice Zealot Warp in. I mean, it should be an easy hold for DisK, but we'll have to see. JonSnow does have a lot of Roaches and Hydras, and he's an incredible player. And this attack is actually looking really good.
Storm's going to make things a little bit more complicated, as the Roaches can deal with a few Storms, the Hydras less so. There's even a drone here for this attack, mate. Just in case. Maybe set up a hatchery? I don't know.
Oh, juicy nice storm. Only 2 Immortals in the mix. A third one does come down from the main base. There's 1 more Storm in there, but there's still a bunch of Roaches on that north side. These Immortals need to pull back behind that shield battery. A 4th Immortal comes down. I think that's a hold. At the same time, though, the Prism is going to get focused down in that main base. So a little bit of inattention there by DisK. Oh, the barrier on that last Immortal says, nah, get out of here. The Roaches and Hydras don't get the kill. War Prism gets cleaned up on the other side, but overall, a great hold for DisK. If he just, makes more High Templar, takes a 4th base in the next minute or 2, he's in a good position. JonSnow's just all in. He's just rallying army.
Yeah, I mean, 57 drones in a dream. He's got +1 attack on those range units. He's going to do whatever he can with just Roach, Hydra, and try and end the game. Even throwing in some Lings for good measure. I'm not sure why, but he's just going for it, man. He's trying to get a 4th hatchery on the other side of the map, but if this attack doesn't end the game, it feels like, or even do critical damage, like kill a Nexus or something, it feels like that 4th hatchery is kind of just basically an Overlord.
Ooh,
it's not really going to help
Storm. The energy's ready now, but the Storms aren't landing. He doesn't realize he's got the energy.
Oh, man.
Good Immortal micro, though.
Yeah, I mean, the Immortal micro and also the fact that these High Templar were at least not picked off by JonSnow means that DisK still has them available for the next wave. JonSnow's still producing units and rallying them across the map.
Oh, those Adepts got into the 3rd. They just killed 6 drones. They're about to kill a few more. Even more drones going down. Nice. DisK doing that in the midst of defending at home. No wonder he wasn't landing Storms. He was shift-clicking Adepts on workers. He's up 6 workers. And, what do we got? 3, 4 Immortals, 2 Archons, 1 High Templar right now. A few more High Templar. He accidentally morphed the wrong High Templar into Archons. He morphed the ones that had Storm there. But little mistakes are excused when you're in this position. DisK is held on. Lurker Den and droning coming in so late. That is desperation droning. Desperation Lurker transition out of JonSnow. He's going to be forced into the macro game from the inferior position.
Yeah, he's in a rough spot still for sure. Playing catch-up is JonSnow, and I feel like if he does a big chunk of damage, then this is going to be fine for him. Like, he can turn this into a regular game, but he hasn't been able to find that damage. He's been trading army for army. Meanwhile, the Protoss is able to get a 4th Nexus up. It's a third of the way done right now. His worker count has always been ahead of JonSnow's in this game. With the Lurker Den finishing up, I like the Lurkers a lot.
The Zealots are going to find the 4th.
Get past. Oh, this 4th is so naked. The Zealots run past the army JonSnow.
The armies walked right past it as well. They barely dodged the Zealots because the Zealots were queued right around the edge of the map, and that's so annoying. JonSnow needs to do some damage. He split some Roaches to the north, but there's Immortals, Archons, and Chargelets to meet them, and JonSnow's not watching. He's dealing with the Zealots back home. Those Roaches are toast, and he's already taken a bunch of damage on his 4th. That's slowed down. Not only that, DisK sees the drones on the 4th. He says, okay, you're transitioning. Guess what? I know I'm ahead. I've got a ton of Storm building up. Give me another minute. I'll have 2 Storms on each of these 5 High Templar. And if he can just push out into the middle and start clearing creep, DisK can start doing that Protoss thing where they're sending Zealots down one side of the map. They've got the main army pushing the creep, threatening, pulling back. If the Zerg ever isn't watching, Storms and Immortals will cleave their army down. There's a 4th up behind this. DisK has got the economy, the upgrades, even Blink coming in to prepare for Muta or Broodlord switches. And he's just looking so good. The Prism going to hit the bottom left while the army hits the top.
He's going to have 8 to 10 Immortals in a second here, and that's going to absolutely decimate these Lurkers for JonSnow as long as the Observer sees them. Another big charge lot warp in. There's just a Spinecrawler up here for defense at the 4th base of JonSnow. The main attack is happening in his natural ramp, which is where his attention is going to be, and the Lurkers as well. The Lurkers are putting on some good damage here. A good couple waves there from these Lurker Spines.
Yeah, it does force him back, but DisK maintains position. And DisK does have an Observer with that army, which means he can clear up creep, and that's a disaster. If you're a Lurker player, you need creep, you need the ability to maneuver around you. What DisK is doing is he's pinning the Zerg back. He's pinning JonSnow. He says, your Lurkers need to be sieged, or I'm going to push through you. Sees the Lurkers, and he rotates to another angle. He can rotate back to the north or down to the south, and JonSnow's vision is getting pushed back. He doesn't know where the army is. He's frantically trying to do something to DisK's side of the map. The Zergling's going down the south side. He's trying to get over there. And they are going to be going into these bases, but the Zealots are ready once again. Did that Prism get sniped? Where is that Prism? It's rotating.
The Prism down to the south?
It's moved up to the north now, so he's just swapped. Okay. He's doing that. Oh, look, now my main army's on the south. Prism's on the north, but JonSnow's anticipated. His Lurkers have swapped position as well. The Natural a bit undefended, though, so Zealots might find a way. And here comes the Revelation. That's beautiful. Adding Oracles in late game, the best detection you can use versus Lurkers. Unlike Observers, which always get sniped down by Hydras.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit better than trying to get Observer speed in a Robotics Bay or something like that. If you don't need a Robotics Bay. So many Immortals here in this army, but I mean, DisK is being very, very careful. He's going to lose 1 Archon by the looks of things. Gets really, really low. It's got 4 hit points still. Ballsy
chase there by JonSnow. He's got very good control. Problem with JonSnow is he's a long way away from Hive. He's got the Spire just starting, so it's about 3 minutes until Broodlords hit the field. That's where DisK's army becomes bad. But guess what? DisK's already got 2 carriers on the way. DisK doesn't even need to do a killing blow. The Storms on that ramp. The Immortals. Massacre.
Yeah, completely gets all those Lurkers there of JonSnow, and now he's just left with Roach Hydra here in front of that 3rd base. And that is a no bueno. Actually, DisK is in a really lovely spot. He's cut off the 3rd and the 4th base, so if units come down to this position, he can just kill both. Warp in manages to happen in the main base as well. Tons of charge lots.
Yeah, charge lots in the main base. They're doing good. They're going to just chew through. Hydra's going to come up. Actually, there's enough of a ball of Hydras there. The Zealots, though, are going to do some nice shift clicking there. DisK says, hey, drones, and manages to take out a whole lot of drones. Zealots kill drones so quickly. It's insane, dude. The Hydra's actually split up as well, so some of them are even going to go down. The Prism managed to escape. And DisK just needs to secure this 5th in the middle, and he's in a fantastic position. JonSnow's got a Viper, 30 Hydras, 18 Roaches, no Lurkers to support the ground army. One problem for DisK, and DisK does make this mistake sometimes, is he didn't warp in more High Templar. He's just warped them in now. They don't have Storm energy yet, so there's a small window where DisK is very light on Storms. His Oracle just got sniped. There goes his detection. Not that it matters. There's no Lurkers in the army. And yeah, the Immortal Archon's still looking good. The Roach Hydra splitting up. JonSnow positioning very nicely here. Those couple of Zealots aren't going to do anything. Carry is getting sandwiched a little bit between the Roach Hydra. High Templar getting exposed. One of them focused down. The 5th base is going to go down. JonSnow going to get a carrier as well. Wow, he's doing a lot with a little right now.
He's actually up a 30 army supply, and he's going to try and press the issue here, splitting off to the north side to get that 4th Nexus. Meanwhile, some Roach Hydra sitting on the ground. Oh, High Templar not being looked at. A couple of them died.
Oh! Recall on the north side. The Immortals are going to defend that base. I mean, DisK's army is just so much better quality. JonSnow scrambling here. He's looking for angles, and he found some parts of that engagement that they're good. But the moment the Immortals just connect with the Roaches, they disappear. The Hydras connecting with the Archons and Storms, they just disappear. And we are up to 3 carriers. There's a Mothership, +2 flyer weapons. It's about to finish. 3 carriers building at a time. The Mothership. Mama's here. And that's a huge problem.
And she is so upset about what her babies have been up to. It's time to put her loving embrace of float all over them. Making it tough for the Zerg army, who has been losing overseers. He has that Viper. He could potentially yank Mama into a ball of Hydras and take her down. But it is so tough with these interceptor counts starting to get a little bit higher on these carriers.
Yeah.
Storms available again on some fresh High Templar.
He's trying to come in with his scary arc. He's looking for the abduct on Mama, but I don't... Oh, actually, that 4th getting super exposed. DTs are cleaning it up. There's no overseers up there. But he's going to lose that 5th if he doesn't get up there. You've got to get up there, DisK. That's the 4th base, actually, not even the 5th. Takes some damage, but he's going to catch a lot of the Roach Hydra on the retreat. No overseers there. 2 DTs drop in the main. The Lurker Den being focused down in the main base while JonSnow turns tail and runs.
Yeah, he does get that Lurker Den. Lurkers haven't really been too much of a problem. There's that yank on Mama. Mama gets taken down.
JonSnow just using the movement to his advantage. Yanks a carrier as well. I mean, this is such a bad situation for JonSnow, but he's still fighting. He's still fighting his equal army supplies with Hydras and Roaches against a gigantic Protoss ball. DisK's still here. He's angry. He wants to just chase this down. He's like, stop it. Just fight my army. There's no way you can stand up to the might of this many Immortals and carriers.
It did look like DisK was starting to lose patience with JonSnow there. He's just like, I'm going to keep chasing your army with my army. Like, I've had it here. I'm going to force a fight. He's going to try and hit the Zerg side of the map here by the looks of things. Now that JonSnow's given him a little bit of a breath of fresh air, he's going to retake that 5th Nexus that got cancelled earlier. And the 4th has been replenished as well. His probe count still looking quite good. JonSnow managed to get up into the 70s in the drone count. Still forced to make some Hydras to replenish, as he did lose a bunch in that battle, and that's basically his only answer against these carriers.
Ooh, Blinding Cloud.
Back there. Does get a Blinding Cloud, yeah, so a lot of these Immortals are not actually firing.
Corruptor flank from the side as well. Archons are going to come in and help support there. Good pull up the ramp. Storms are going to be absolutely punishing. JonSnow realizes that. He pulls out, gets a couple of carriers. I mean, the thing is, DisK is doing the right thing. He's disengaging. Whenever JonSnow engineers a good fight, he disengages and turns it lopsided. And back to, you know, carriers are better than Hydras. Immortals and Archons and Storm are better than Roaches. DTs hit the south at the same time. Is he going to get the snipe?
JonSnow just lost like 20-something drones.
Ouch.
Crazy
58 workers killed this game, Maynard. 58.
Ugh. Oof. That's a lot of drones. As JonSnow had 70 drones when I was last looked, and then he was down like in the 50s. I'm like, oh, that ain't good.
Double Cybercores now pumping as well. DisK is like, yeah, I got all the things, man. The 5th base is up and healthy. Finally going to be getting gas mining there in the near future. And JonSnow's fought hard. He's fought well. He's made this game... You know, he's made DisK work for it. He's looked for the mistakes. He's looked for the panic. DisK hasn't crumbled, though. DisK's like, no. I know how to secure a game when I'm this far ahead. Come on, man. My army's better. But I just like the doggedness of JonSnow. The fact that he's got this confidence to just keep fighting. He says, there's always a chance if I stretch my opponent enough that they will start making those mistakes. Now, one thing from DisK, there's High Templar. Yeah, they do go astray every now and then. I'd love to see them just clicked on the Immortals or the carriers or something so they automatically follow the army, because they do get left behind a little bit. Yeah,
so a separate control group, as you can imagine. Also, I'd love for Mama to come back. Oh, as I say that, she's on the way in that main base. She's stomping down the chairs. She's got that rolling pin and an apron on, just ready to smack the head of this Zerg. Get out of my kitchen. Oh, this Warp Prism actually gets tagged by the Hydra there, forcing DisK to get on out.
Take your dirty tumescent Zerg, your acid, your roach vomit, your Zergling poops, your Overlord poops. Get them out of my kitchen. Indeed, the Mama absolutely hates Zerg units in her territory. Those Hydras also, big haters of Warp Prisms. They shut them down. It's 7 carriers now, Maynard. That's a lot of interceptors. 56 interceptors with this army. 1 Archon and the High Templar go off to the side. They spot the Broodlords, land some impressive storms across both the Broods and the Hydras. The 4th gets sniped here. JonSnow is like, okay, come on. I know I'm done. Nothing to deal with the carriers, and has to tap out.
Now, DisK got the win there, but JonSnow made him work for it, and that gets me excited for game 2 here. It's a very, very sick game 1.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much, Locked and Pasta Legion, for the subs there, guys. We'll be hopping into map 2 in just a moment. And thank you very much for the support. F the ads, take my money, says Locked. Yeah, I accidentally cut off the end of the previous game with ads, forgetting there was a stream delay. I very rarely play ads, and when I do, apparently I'm an idiot. Plays them over the end of the game.
I'm exactly the same.
I cut off literally 10 seconds, like the intelligent human that I am. But yeah, if you do sub, then you do not get ads. Though actually, if you're Twitch Prime, you do still get ads, I think is how it works. Some drama about that a while back.
Yeah, I can't remember if it's subs or Prime, but one of them has lost the ability to avoid ads.
I believe it's Prime, yeah. But anyways, good stuff. We'll be upping to map 2 in a second. That was a good game. I do feel like JonSnow took a little bit too much damage to, the Archons. The Oracle did pretty well, but it did fall. And it was just great defense on the third from DisK there, just really, really good usage. I thought the way JonSnow was hitting just before Storm, maybe he'd create enough of a problem, but
I was beginning to believe, I was beginning to believe in JonSnow there. His attacks are looking really good. I was like, oh my god, he keeps winning engagements. And I know what happens in StarCraft. You keep winning engagements. You keep picking off a carrier here, a carrier there. You trade more and more cost efficiently. I mean, we were talking about Cyril Rogue, and that game went forever, but cost efficiency was the name of the game in the end there. Just bleed him out slowly. War of attrition. And JonSnow was starting to make it happen, but DisK's at least too solid of a Protoss to throw that lead. It would have been quite the throw if he lost that game for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's happened. I've thrown games from there.
100% throw that game.
In the midst of the Roach Hydra dance. I mean, obviously against JonSnow, I would 100% throw.
Yeah,
but I mean, just like situationally, even against an equal player, you can lose there if the Zerg's just really dogged with those backstabs.
Definitely not an unlosable game, but would have been quite the throw. Sorry,
no worries.
I got a mouth half with rice here.
Get some nutrition in that face while I take the mic over. But yeah, it's fascinating. I remember there's games like that, and you can imagine it, guys, from DisK's point of view, where he's blocking a blow to the right, blow to the left, and he's trying to move out, and he's trying to send a zealot counter, but then he's got to pull back and defend this 3-pronged Roach Hydra. And if you start to make a mistake and lose a few probes, and then suddenly you lose a base or something like that, even though your army is still unkillable, there can be things like, oh lord, he suddenly squeezed out a Spire in the midst of all this back and forth, and 12 meters hit your main mineral line, and suddenly you were just in an absolutely disastrous scenario because you just don't have any Phoenix. You don't have much of a way of dealing with it.
Oof.
So map 2 is going to be Parasite, guys. I think map 1 was JonSnow's pick because Parasite's a big map. Protoss players tend to like it. That being said, in recent times, Zerg is OP in late game versus Protoss.
I was gonna say, I feel like it's been all Zerg on Parasite for at least the last month. Like it's
they've actually been picking it?
Yeah.
Oh really? Wow, okay.
The Korean Zergs have actually been I mean, I cast mainly with the Lima Leagues, like the tournament that I cast on the regular. And they've been loving it, man.
Parasite. That's surprising. I mean, I guess even JonSnow probably knows how to use Infestors really well because JonSnow's like a very non-spellcaster Zerg. He's like a real late mid-game, back and forth guy. But I feel like Cyril's changed everyone's perception, right? Everyone's just like, no, you can just do anything now. That's a 12 Overlord from JonSnow. That's a misclick. JonSnow's made a massive misclick. He's accidentally built an Overlord before drones.
Oopsie daisies.
Right?
Well,
if anyone has any back info, maybe he's got some weird theory for why he wants to do that, but that is incorrect. That's inefficient.
Yeah, it's drone Overlord, guys. Or drone Overlord.
Or drone Overlord drone, yeah.
Yeah.
It's that's odd. Could have just been a misclick. Once you've misclicked it, it's not really worth changing. Maybe he decides this is better because he's going 16 hatch, and for some reason, and he's got 5 minerals in his hand. Wow. Okay. I mean, he is down a game here, down in the bottom right, representing Slicestorm Gaming with the weirdest opening I've seen in a little while. It's JonSnow.
I got my score wrong. Happy days. At least it doesn't take 3 minutes of Twitch delay to finish that one up in the top left from Slicestorm. This is DisK. You'll have to forgive my my Chobo production skills here, guys. I really don't run tournaments in my stream very often. I'm more about that ladder. So Whoopsie poopsie daisies. That said,
Whoopsie.
I wanna say, I mainly ladder on my stream as an excuse, and I'm literally casting with Pig, who has done like 40 hours of ladder a week on, and then the rest of it on team games. So I'm not really making too much of a case here.
I'm always on your side, Maynard. If I'm sitting on the jury, Maynard's on trial,
Yeah.
not having enough passion,
Dude,
doing something wrong that Reddit doesn't like, I am always voting to acquit Maynard.
I mean, I'd be the defense against Reddit or something like that, because I do tease Reddit sometimes. So Reddit or the Reddit lawyer would not let Pig be on my jury for sure.
Yeah, they'd be like, nope.
The Reddit lawyer would be like, we excuse jurors Zombie Grub, Fear Dragon, Pig, and In Control. So those people would go in for bat for me, but Tasteless and Untoasted wouldn't know what the hell we're talking about. They wouldn't show up. So, but if we were in person and someone was giving me crap in person, they would 100% stand in. It's just the keyboard warriors. They wouldn't so much.
Yeah. Shout out to Huck and Desro for doing like 2 episodes of that show where it was like drama Judge Judy or some shit like that.
Really?
And then not doing it anymore. I was so sad. I was like, I really wanted to see this become a regular thing because it was so terrible. It was just them like doing a talk show on like the drama of the week. It was like Judge Huck or something. It was like the dumbest thing. I loved it. Someone Google this, find the old threads. Please link it in chat for all of us. I know it'll be a few minutes delayed, but I'd love to have that little bit of StarCraft history dug up.
Or Imbalance with Artosis and Idra. I remember that one.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Adept just poking around here, just being annoying. It's like, hey, let's check your work account. Okay, lots of drones, healthy. Is going to be Phoenix first again. But check it out, JonSnow with the metagame. Poked the wall in. He saw that the cybernetics core wasn't spinning. He said, you've gone Stargate first because that's 150 gas. So you've skipped Warp Gate for a few seconds. I'm going to send my first Overlord directly home because I know you're a player who is probably going to go Phoenix first. And look at this Phoenix. This Phoenix is like, hey, where are the Overlords? Where are they? He's got this like attack path queued everywhere. The Overlord's already home, man. That Phoenix is going to do nothing.
This Phoenix is, this Phoenix is a Chad on a Friday night, man. He's had too many drinks. He's just like, where the hoes at? Can't find a single one. They've all gone home. They knew that Chad was on his way. They've cleared the streets. They've left the clubs. They've got their Ubers. They're on their way back to their boyfriends. Like, they don't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah. I mean, it's a shame. It's a shame he's not in a void ray because his behavior really does speak of it. Phoenix Pilot though is going to fly around the map. Isn't going to find any targets. A couple of adepts out here. Oh, JonSnow. A little bit of a headbutt there. I think a bit of a misclick. Didn't realize his lings had been clicked so close to the wall. And meanwhile, the Oracle did get 4 kills. Sorry, guys, missed that. I'm not sure if any were lava. Okay. It was
on Twitch TV Maynard. We caught it. We were looking at that Oracle killing those drones. The transfer between the third and the natural, so the drones like weren't covered by spores or queens. It was just a lucky drone transfer there from DisK.
Nice timing. Yeah, DisK is good at getting those lucky timings. 4 workers that early is a great start to things, and it's 2 Stargate Phoenix, which is a great way to play on this map. Now, we've seen Hydra Bane timings sometimes be very effective against 2 Stargate Phoenix. What I would love to see is DisK just go full DisK bag and go Stargate Carrier afterwards and just like not even swap into ground, which is the standard transition off this.
Double Stargate Phoenix. I mean, I know Roddy's sleeping right now, but if he wasn't, he can actually detect when it's happening, and he's in Twitch chat when that happens, and when he's watching a tournament and it happens, and he'll actually be able to drop more Phoenix, like 2 Stargate Phoenix analysis in my Twitch chat than we will be able to do live with the microphone. He'll do it faster with the keyboard. We got those 3 adepts covering with a bit of a SimCity thanks to that pylon. Yeah. Looks like JonSnow has enough lings that he feels like he can just muscle his way through this.
There's only 2 gateways right now. Where's the Oracle?
Home.
There it is. It's turned on its laser beam a bit early. I don't know if it's going to... I think it will be able to save this Nexus. Okay, it'll be all right. The Phoenix, though, one of them did almost go down. The Queens hugging those spores did a good job. These Overlords like, get the hell out of here. Get to the spore crawlers. They're trying to get home. 3 spores at base and just holding down that drone key, knowing you're always going to take at least a few losses. 1 Phoenix already going down. Zergs are so on point with their defense against these days. 2nd and 3rd Oracle already on the way. I like that call because there's still lings here. And DisK is going to need those lasers to defend this. Uh-oh, Probe's in the open.
He doesn't have that much laser energy. Oh, he's got a couple more oracles. Okay, never mind.
As long as he doesn't do a Hass and turn on every oracle at once for one Zergling, he should be okay with 3 oracles now. But yeah, beforehand with just the 1 oracle, definitely would have been in trouble. These Phoenix, man, taking a lot of big hits. Another Phoenix goes down, and that's just it. The modern Zergs are so well prepared for these Phoenix, and we see players swapping out earlier and early. Oh, robotic support bay on the way. Could be Disruptors, could be Colossi, could be a bit of both. We don't see as much Colossi play these days, but I would love to see some of that. JonSnow's one of the best at dealing with it with Hydra Bane, a composition which classically should suck against Colossi. You'll see JonSnow pull off these sick 360-degree surrounds against it.
Phoenix is coming in. They're looking for those queens or anything really, but the queens, sisters are doing it for themselves. They're all together, ready to transfuse each other, holding each other up. But the Phoenixes actually can't find any damage at the moment. Those Spore Crawlers, like you mentioned, he has not taken any chances. He's gone multiple Spore Crawlers per hatchery. I like the decision to go for erotic support pay because I actually think that Colossi are super powerful right now. JonSnow amassing Hydras at the moment to deal with this, Gateway Stargate force, which is great. Hydras do great against both those things. Then you get those Colossi out, and all of a sudden the scales tips into the Protoss' favor.
Yeah, I was about to say Oracles need to start spamming stasis traps in the next minute or two to make sure when this Hydra Bane potentially does come that there's something to help back up those Colossi. I actually don't think these shield batteries are necessary. I think DisK should really move out and actually look for a fast 4th because he does risk just getting drowned. JonSnow will have a Broodlord transition off the back of this. Corruptor's Broodlords, very good against Colossi. So as DisK, you can't get overly defensive here. Right now he's worried about the defense, but I think he actually needs to worry about securing a 4th base. Definitely needs more sentries as well. Only 1 sentry right now. Oh no, that's not a lot of force field power here. Revelation is good though. Sees the Hydras coming. Should take down these destructible rocks, this cooling tower for sure. And we see these Hydras turning around. Spire and Infestation. JonSnow's like, oh, what? You're going Colossi? Immediately goes towards the Broodlord tech. I love it.
Yeah, and smart as well. He doesn't want to keep pressing the issue. Like, you don't have to attack when your army's like 7/8 of the way across the map. JonSnow knows he's just got to be patient, pull back, maybe get another hatchery, drone up a little bit, inject, make sure he's got plenty of lava and plenty of money to get up into those Corruptor Broodlords. The Colossi count can be as high as it wants. If he has a good number of Broodlords and they're positioned well, with a meat shield of Zerg units on the ground protecting them, he can absolutely take this fight. And also some Vipers as well, usually pretty critical at that point in the game.
I like that DisK very quickly.
Starting now.
Yeah, I like that DisK very quickly took the 4th behind this. I think Storm and just going straight to carriers is one actually underrated way of playing Colossi. Those Adepts get nothing done. It was a good attempt by DisK. If the army was out of the map, might have worked. The Observer on the left is about to get sniped down. That Overseer sees it. Does it? Oh, it's just barely out of range. That one little pervy boy just hovering over the 4th base has seen a lot this game. Oracles are going to come forward and tag the army. Give DisK a little bit of that... He cancelled his 4th bit. He just misclick cancelled his 4th. Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, it's not good here. JonSnow sees it as well, actually.
Does he freak? He's like, whoa, he cancelled the 4th. Does he freak out?
Like, wow. I mean, when you see the 4th cancelled like that, you don't expect it to be a misclick, especially at this level. So he'd probably have all these cogs spinning in his brain right now, going, "Oh, why did he cancel it? Is he going for? Is he attacking me? What's happening here?
What is going on?" 8 Infestors on the way, by the way. JonSnow. I was gonna say, because I really don't see JonSnow as a big Viper guy, and like I talked about how he's not like a big spellcaster guy, but I'm like, you know what? Even the guys who aren't the traditional spellcaster players, spellcaster Zergs, they're all embracing Neural Parasite lately. Like the Neural from underground, the mixture of infested Terrans and then landing Fungals. We're seeing Zergs just smash Protoss air armies in the late game. And yeah, it's definitely something where DisK is building Disruptors, and this is what I was worried about. So Disruptors are really good if it stays Hydra Bane. Hydra Bane is expired. At this point, this is just leftover units from the early stages. These Zealots from DisK aren't doing anything, but he doesn't realize the Hive and the Spire are already up. There's Oracles just sitting out in the middle of nowhere. The Hydras are trying to trap them. Are these Oracles going to be able to find their way home? They're very important utility units for the late game, and he's still building Disruptors. That's not what you want. DisK is in big trouble right now because he's staying in the mid game when he needs to be rushing to the late game. He's taking way too long. He's not pushing on the ground. I mean, you can afford to stay in the mid game if you're dictating the pace, you're attacking, you're harassing, but I think he's given up a little bit too much time. He's going to push out now. He's got a narrow window before Broodlords are ready.
And he's got a bunch of Stalkers here. Looks like they have Blink and they have plus 2 attack, so they are going to hit pretty hard. Actually hasn't queued up plus 3 attack either, which is something that he definitely wants at this point of the game. So his Colossi and Stalkers will hit a lot harder as a result. Phoenix is lifting up some of those Hydras that ran past him in that 4th base. And that slows down DisK a little bit more. That gives JonSnow this time to get these Broodlords up.
Exactly. I think that's the big problem there. And oh, he's going to get both Oracles. That's huge. Revelation is massive in the later stages. There's still no Stargate transition. He's massing Disruptors. I think DisK is out of time. The first 4 Broodlords are about to finish out front the natural. There we go. They're done. They're ready. And DisK is afraid to even push. Does he even have an Observer right now? He does have one.
He's got one full
He's got Observer speed as well, actually.
Yeah, he got Observer speed, and now he's starting Prism speed.
It's interesting. Fleet Beacon starts up, but I think it's a little bit too late. And no Revelation. He's not going to see this till the Broodlords and Fungal start landing. JonSnow looking for a Fungal. Good Disruptor. Zones out the Infestors, and that's going to allow him to retreat. He'll just lose 1 Disruptor there. And, oh, ambitious blink forward. Thought he would catch those Broodlords a little bit further than they were. If he can separate the ground army and jump on those Broodlords, maybe. Nice Disruptor shot does land. A few more balls go out. They do take out a few of the Hydras, but the Fungal is massive.
Yeah, these Fungals are huge, and the Hydras are giving chase here against Colossi, which you wouldn't really expect. Although he is starting to lose that front line. Disruptor flank! Gets a couple Infestors. Not as good as it could be, but he is flanking these forward. Overwhelming it with Stalkers.
Oh, JonSnow has overextended right now. He only had a handful of Broodlords, and the Fungal energy eventually did run out. His army got scattered. JonSnow got ahead of himself here, and this could be a huge upset if DisK can take him down. Don't get me wrong, DisK is down in supply, and DisK is worried about a Ling Remax. He's going to pull back. He actually could have chased those Broodlords down. In the meantime, the DTs took out the 6th base in the bottom left. They're going to try and run into the 3rd, but they're not going to find any purchase there. 3 Spine Crawlers and 2 Spores will shut those down. The army pushing back in. DisK umming and ahhing a little bit. There's a lot of Corruptors. The 1 Broodlord goes down, another Broodlord goes down. It's just Lings.
And the Lings are getting completely meant by these Colossi, but they're left on their oon on the right-hand side here. Those Corruptors are taking them out one at a piece.
And there we go. The tech.
I think maybe the Gateway units can continue to pressure here, considering the Infestors and a lot of the ground forces are gone.
There's 8 Banelings on the ground. Spines there. There's a decent Queen count. I mean, there's Hydras out as well. This is dangerous. But DisK is going to commit. DisK is going to go all in. Disruptor shot does take out just a single Hydra. This Colossi getting some valuable swipes before the Colossi disappears. And there we go. It's just Stalkers, and I think they need to get the hell out of there. Oh my god, he's coming in with a huge Stalker reinforce.
Still has a Disruptor here as well. If he can get a really clutch hit on these Hydras, maybe he can just overwhelm with Stalker numbers. Definitely not the kind of unit you want at this point in the game. But these Stalkers are just so high in count. Oh, man. They have... I mean, it just starts plus 3 attack now, which was definitely a mistake. You want to plus 3 attack a lot before this push. But whatever, man. He's still finding this damage here against JonSnow. But JonSnow being so patient, just waiting for his extra few rounds of units to come out of these hatcheries.
Clearing up the creep now. I like this from DisK. He's got to clear up that creep. He's knocked his opponent back to 4 bases. He's going to keep the Stalkers alive. He starts a Mothership. Five DTs warp in on the left. They're going to go down and keep denying these bases. He might even look to overwhelm the Spines on that back base. He's saying, look, let's have a big counterattack force in position ready. And a few of these Stalkers left out in the middle of no man's land are going to finally clear up the rest of this creep on the left-hand side. But that base rebuilds on the right. I mean, all the spellcasters got taken out. These DTs, unfortunately, show themselves on just some extractors. So they're going to have to go hide in the corner of the map or they will get shut down.
Yeah, certainly. These Banelings, even same deal for JonSnow, looking for a probe line that's not there. They're just running around. And Tempests are already on the way here for DisK as well to help out against the Broodlords and the Corruptors. I feel like he does start an Oracle here. I was going to say he needs another Oracle, like you mentioned. They'd be so important in the late game for Protoss to be able to tag those units and not only keep tabs of these burrowed units, but also just look at the armies, the Zerg army, you know, movement here.
Look at this. This Baneling path was so intricate. They had been queued to like 12 different waypoints to hug all the terrain, go from the right to the left. It was just impressive to see JonSnow putting so much detail into hoping that counterattack would get some probes. Did get shut down, but those DTs get shut down as well. I was saying how those DTs were spotted earlier. They needed to go hide in a corner and wait until they've been forgotten about, but they do show themselves and get shut down for it. Mothership's not here yet. There's a single Tempest. No Corruptors.
Ooh.
Ooh. There's a few Broodlords and Infestors out. I honestly think DisK needs to get out of there. Where's the Psystorm is what I'm asking right now. I think with no Disruptors, I think Psystorm needs to be added in here, because otherwise, how are you going to protect these Tempests? I mean, it's a very fragile army, and this creep on the left-hand side is also creating problems because that's spotting units so early. He feels like he can only attack with DTs, and he's draining a lot of his gas bank. Oh, gonna go for the snipe, but this is super ambitious here. One Storm does come forward. There's a few more High Templar in the back here, but the Fungals are huge.
Oh my god, this Infestor Broodlord army, these incredibly great units when they're in tangent. Yeah. Oh my god, they're pushing this army all the way back. Those Colossi fall back to the high ground, and they don't seem to have anywhere to run or hide here. They definitely can't continue to pressure JonSnow all on their lonesome without a big ground force. Just sends a Prism into the main base? No.
Yeah, he backs out of it. I would actually love him to just keep playing a ground pounding style. DTs have found their way into the natural, but they were spotted, fungled, and the Spore Crawler will reveal them and they will go down. But yeah, I mean, right now he's going DT Blink, he's going upgrades, he's going air upgrades, he's going double Tempest. You know, I don't mind the double Tempest if you also start mixing in some Void Rays. The problem is Corruptors are going to be way too valuable if you don't do that. And finally, he's going to clear up this creep. Yeah, so this is what you want to do as DisK. Rotate down, clear up all the vision on the left, and then he can start splitting Zealots down the right-hand side. You see there's a red hit point hatchery with no static on the right. And then he can start splitting off counterattacks and hiding them in the bottom left. And then if JonSnow moves out of the map too far, he'll be in big trouble. Now, JonSnow here, he realizes this army is not pushing in very quickly, and he just splits his Hydras to the top right. And that's going to be a great move. It's going to shut down these two expansions of DisK. And JonSnow here just looking a little bit more confident in this super late game. I feel like DisK here is struggling to get into that mass air army, which he probably wants to be using in the near future.
Also, I was about to say, he needs Mama to come down and help out these units. But Mama is made, and she's actually just chilling at home behind that Nexus there.
Quite a few Infestors did go down to these DTs in the main, so there's a cute Warpin, but they're not cheap Warpins. These are really expensive Warpins, in fact. So I look at that and I'm like, oh, you're killing Infestors. If that was for Zealots, it'd be great. But since the gas bank is really low for both players, it's kind of an even-ish trade, right?
Yeah.
And Mama's finally joining, dude. You got your wish.
All right.
She's decided to stop AFKing. Good job, Mama.
She had her feet up. She was watching her soaps. Gotta get in there, though.
Corruptors on the map. Only 5. Only +1 air attack for the Zerg army. So JonSnow still doesn't have the most amazing upgrades. He does have +3 melee, which makes his Broodlords incredibly good at chewing through Stalkers. Of course, the Stalkers have no plasma shields, just 1+ ground armor upgrade. And here we go, those DTs down the left. This is what I'm talking about. You gotta create these multi-pronged scenarios.
He also got DT Blink, so maybe he just, circumnavigates the Spore Crawler or dives on him and takes it down, Fear Dragon style. Fear
Dragon is JonSnow's hero. I have heard him say that, but I guess DisK also is maybe a big fan of the Ravine.
Is DisK looking to... it looked like he wanted to try and grab Mama.
Uh-oh, Colossi going walkabout. Oh no, 2 Colossi gonna decide to sack themselves. Wonder if he even wants them at this point. I mean, they're great for clearing up Broodlords. They can kill Infestors. I guess he does, because
he makes 2 more.
Yeah, I think they're actually a good part of the equation. The Prism goes into the main. DisK here. Oh, Caustic Spray. Very nice. Those Corruptors going to do some good damage. We've got those DTs on the left-hand side. They're A-moved. They are going to take down the Spines. That's a lot of damage. The Nexus goes down, but the Corruptors are going to go down at the same time. Things are getting messy right now. A DT in the backhand on the right-hand side goes down. Those DTs going to blink on out of there. The Prism in the main, though. Yeah, DisK is like, he doesn't want to go full air. He wants to play the ground army. I think this is a good way of doing it. JonSnow doesn't have that much money.
More DTs joining in with a couple of Zealots as well. JonSnow being pulled all over the place here.
The Infestors are stacked on the top. They're all trapped. If they get cornered, that's going to be really bad. Thankfully, DisK did not spot it. JonSnow gets those Infestors out of that corner. They were in a really tight spot, but the Infestation Pit's gone down. The Spire looks like it's going to go down as well. Goodbye, Greater Spire. No more Broodlords. Another Spire starts up in the back of the natural, but this is just really frustrating. And the Prism are hiding in the corner, hoping that it doesn't get spotted. Zealots and DTs. Oh, is he going to recall that Prism? Don't think so. The Corruptors are going to have to go all the way back to find it, though. +2 armor on the way as well. Oh, this is a cool scenario. These Lings on the top right, though, still being such a pain.
Yeah, they are being annoying here. They've burrowed. On top of that Nexus. Observers, though. When the Observers were being fungled by JonSnow, I was a little bit worried that they get taken out there, because the Infestors obviously still have the ability to burrow, spam Infestor Terrans, also neural things. So losing observers is pretty huge potentially.
Dude,
JonSnow
JonSnow cute. He cute.
here.
He's going for a big attack, but he's derping into the splash. No! Oh, he's landing some big murals though, but he's already lost all of his infestors. Oh no! Move command to his death.
Big
Corruptor's doing good.
There.
Fungal infested Terrans tearing it up. Oh, and I don't know if there's enough things to defend those Tempests and that carrier. Oh, the Corruptors are going to come forward, try and snipe down these Tempests, these carriers. The Stalkers are going to warp in fresh. That base went down. That was an important base. DisK needed that. His gas count's getting dangerously low. Broodlords, though, with very little on the ground defending them. JonSnow is being so ballsy. He's still out here on the map, and he never cleaned up the prism. He queued up his Corruptors, but he didn't pay attention. They actually did not aggro on the Warp Prism. The Warp Prism redrops the DTs in the main, warps in a ton of Zealots, and that's a massive problem for JonSnow.
It certainly is. JonSnow's economy has been hit hard, and he hasn't been thinking about it for a while because he's been concentrating trying to win this fight. And I mean, that control at the end there wasn't really great for JonSnow. He lost a lot of his army before the fight began, so he didn't take as convincing a fight as he wanted to. And his economy isn't great. DisK has been sitting on a 74 drone economy.
He just lost all his Hydras and Lings as well in the main. The Corruptors, they don't get it. Oh no! This is a disaster. DisK is he's just in control. He's in control of this game. There's no way to clean up these units. He has to send the Broodlords home. And the moment he spots those, DisK pounces on the front. He says, guess what? Your Broodlords are at home. They're definitely not up here. Oh, DisK taking control of this in an epic series. Looks like he's going to move towards that 2-0.
Yeah, certainly. And that's quite an upset here. What a game from DisK. And JonSnow, unfortunately, making a few mistakes there and DisK capitalizing on it. I mean, DisK has been doing great work with his DT harassment, with his charge lot run-bys, getting damage done to JonSnow's economy. I mean, if he wasn't doing all these prison walk-ins while making his Nexar, while engaging his Zerg on the front lines, then he wouldn't be in this good of a situation. JonSnow's Broodlords flying the ground army here. Looks like he's got a carrier.
Yeah. There's a Disruptor waiting. Disruptor's waiting.
Waiting for the mate.
Just waiting for a mating. Tempest here starting to shoot down these Broodlords. The Broodlords trying to chase him down. They do take out one Disruptor, but look at that. He's just shift-clicking him. DisK's like, let's just go, man. You want to fight? Let's fight. The Broodlords are almost all gone at this point. And I feel like DisK can just, jump over this army. The Tempests are going to get taken down to the infested Terrans, the Hydras, but Stalkers come forward. All the Broodlords are gone, and the Zealots in the main, of course.
That's all he needs.
Yeah.
These ones on F2, they're coming home.
Yeah, looks like...
Oh, right, there we go.
And JonSnow's going to get knocked down to the lower bracket. 2-0 victory for DisK. I talked about how JonSnow is the favorite in this series, but DisK is an impressive PvZ player, and he showed it there. Really sick stuff.
Quite the specimen. I'd be pretty... He'd have his heart pumping 200 beats per minute right now. I'd be a happy boy.
Dude, look at the APM.
Have a look.
Is this Cyril? What the heck, JonSnow?
Holy crap. 500 APM?
Can we start to get JonSnow a fresh keyboard every month? Because he must wear his out. Damn, 500 APM.
I mean...
Absolute beast.
If he had numbers on his keycaps, they're gone now.
Oh, yeah. He's got to remember where those keys